Hello everyone, I'm the lecturer of Classic American Films. I'm going to introduce the course to you. In this course, we will study the history of the development of American cinema and how American films are related to American culture. To talk about American cinema, Hollywood is a crucial part of it. Although it is not equivalent to American cinema, nonetheless, it has become a term to refer to the U.S. film industry. I believe many of us are familiar with mainstream Hollywood films, or at least have watched some of them, such as the production of Disney films under Warner Brothers, or the animation films of Pixar and Disney. There are also numerous famous Hollywood stars that became names, such as Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Anne Hathaway, Natalie Portman, Emma Watson, etc. You may also recognize some Hollywood directors, for example, Christopher Nolan, who directed Inception and recent popular film Tenet. Today, Hollywood is known as the Dream Factory, as Hollywood movies bring imagination and dreams to the audience and create many movie stars throughout its history. Fame has become the new religion of our time. How much do you know about the past of Hollywood? How did it all begin? Before the establishment of Hollywood, U.S. filmmaking and distribution generally took place in New York. These activities were conducted under the monopoly of the motion picture painting company, which was under the control of Thomas Edison, the scientist who is most famously known as the inventor of the light bulb. Edison held the patents related to both the making of movies and the technology of screening them. Some independent filmmakers, in order to avoid the patent costs for making movies, fled to a small village called Hollywood in Los Angeles, California, and established their studios there. California's climate was also very favorable for filmmaking because of the sunshine, which was good for year-round shooting. The area also provided diverse scenery and ample space for the set. The establishment of Hollywood ushered in the classic Hollywood period. E.W. Griffith were among the first filmmakers who went to Hollywood, and he was the director of the first Hollywood film in all California. After knowing a little bit of the history of Hollywood, so how does Hollywood reflect American culture? I'm going to give you an example to illustrate how we can understand an aspect of American culture through Hollywood films. We will look at the issue of racism. From the news, you probably have heard of the Black Lives Matter movement, which includes a series of protests against police brutality on black people. Since America is basically a country of immigrants, people of different skin colors live there due to different historical and social reasons. Although America is proud of being a country of many cultures, prejudice exists in its history and still exists in people's mindset nowadays. Hollywood is no exception. Recently on Netflix, there is a TV drama series called Hollywood. One of the topics it touches upon is racism. In the TV drama, it reflects the prejudice against black people through the stories of Archie, a young black screenplay writer, and Camille, a black actress. Both of them strive to become successful in the white-dominant Hollywood. Hollywood films have always reflected racial matters. Some films propagate mainstream values and reinforce stereotypes of colored people, such as Griffith's The Battle of Elderbush Gorge, which typically portrays Native Americans as savage and threatening to the white settlers, while in Gone with the Wind, black characters are servants to their white master. In many Hollywood films, black actors and actresses can only play roles of servants and villains. However, the representations of colored people and their relations with the whites in Hollywood films change over time. For example, in The Searchers, Native Americans and the whites are portrayed in a more complicated manner as both sides have their obsessions and interests to defend. While in Forrest Gump, it alludes to the history of black people as servants before the Civil War and their service in the U.S. Army as soldiers in the Vietnam War in a humorous way. As the status of colored people is demanded and confirmed through social movements and political changes, Black actors and actresses can play leading roles just like their white counterparts, such as Morpheus and the Oracle in The Matrix. Although the stories of the success of Archie and Camille in the TV drama is fictional, and classical Hollywood was notoriously unfriendly to colored people, we can observe changes to the situation as history develops. Then, by studying the history of Hollywood and some classic American films, we can answer the question, why Hollywood is important? Because Hollywood films reflect and challenge mainstream values. And Hollywood also constitutes a crucial aspect of the U.S. soft power because Hollywood films have a wide international audience. Hence, Hollywood's influence is also international. And lastly, Hollywood is an indispensable promoter of creativity because it constantly brings new stories, new ideas, and new movie-making technology to the industry and the audience. This is the end of the introduction. Goodbye.